All right, folks. I just have a couple of minutes here. I'm not even going to wait and see if anyone joins me. I've been giving my reviews of the Kinesis Gold platform, and recently I received word of um, a very troubling development that I wanted to bring your attention to. I like the Kinesis platform. I like the idea, but the onboarding of actually getting U.S. dollars into the platform has been a concern. Now, the way that I've done it so far, what has been actually to use like cryptocurrency itself, like Bitcoin, to get over there. I'm sure I could have done the wire transfer, but even that has been removed. So here's the letter that I received, and I'll just read it. Why not? We would like to notify the Kinesis community that from the 20th of February 2023, the US based bank account handling US deposits on the Kinesis platform, TD Bank, will be deactivated. Any user wishing to deposit their USD on the Kinesis platform should direct their funds to our Indonesian or Australian accounts via SWIFT transfer. While we understand that this change may cause a temporary inconvenience to our users, we have decided to source more favorable banking providers for the Kinesis community to alleviate the current market conditions. Kinesis is soon to launch a more reliable depositing solution to better accommodate USD transfers into the Kinesis monetary system. Kind regards, the Kinesis team. All right, so this is this is a problem because at least for me, I mean, for people who are using gold as a store of value and they want Kinesis as a way to also provide that same service, um, maybe it's not that much of a problem. But I really want to find a way to um, add gold to my portfolio in a way that will be accessible in a practical way. Because my concern with gold is that unless you're going to be making very large purchases in the future, um, you're really going to want to be able to access. Yeah, if you buy a bar of gold, right, for whatever amount that is right now, um, if you want to make a transaction with it, you're going to have to find a way to turn that gold into U.S. dollars somehow, and then make your sale. Unless you're going for the whole hyperinflationary uh, scenario in your mind and you want to protect yourself from that, um, there's just a lot of practical hassles for it. And yeah, if you had a bunch of bars of gold and cashed in for the new currency after the US dollar collapses, or however you see that scenario going down, it makes sense to have those gold bars. Um, for me, even a gold coin is too much. I've been focusing on um, silver for the more practical use, but I wanted the gold exposure, and Kinesis was going to give it to me. But if I can't get my US dollars into it, or if I have to convert my US dollars into some other form first, it begins to become an obstacle. It really does. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. This has been. I have a review of Kinesis. You should go back and look at it. And this is one of the things that I discussed as a problem. And I had an audit, an update about the audit that was recently released. And I think I said something about it again at that point as well. And so now here we are. My concerns are showing that they were justified. So what's going on? What are these market conditions? And I think what um, is going on. I went to the forum here. Actually, let me get this off the screen. Now, if I can find I went to the forum to try to find someone who was talking about this, and as you would expect, people were. So we're just gonna start here. Um, I hope it's not a problem that I'm showing the names there. Well, this is publicly available without even being logged in, so I'm gonna go with it. So yeah, here's someone who's complaining about it, and they're in the EU, and you can see that the options of going through Australia or Indonesia, that's not really working for them either. Wise, they're gonna say on this thread that using Wise worked for some, but they don't think it's gonna work in the future. This person is talking about how um, this development needs to go out to a wider audience than just U.S. customers like myself. And here's a person saying that you will not be able to use Wise to send U.S. dollars to Kinesis. But at any rate, he's using Currency Fair. Um, I don't really have any experience with that. I can't speak to that. But the whole idea that I have to come up with yet another intermediary or two, maybe even, in order to get my US dollars into Kinesis, that's a real problem here. And now we get to what I think is the heart of the issue. Um, One of the administrators of the site, who I believe is not actually um, he's not actually a Kinesis representative. He just manages the forum. Um, Here he says, uh, and I don't know where he's getting this information, but I assume as the site administrator, he has a source that I don't have. So I'm going to run with it. TD Bank decided to stop providing on ramps to crypto related projects. Probably correct. Due to increased scrutiny and pressure from the Biden administration, and lots of banks are succumbing to that. Now, this has been talked about. Um, uh, in fact, this forum is going to talk about Operation Choke Point, which was a Obama era executive level attempt to go after things that Obama didn't like guns, and get through like gun transactions by going at the bank level. And this just goes to illustrate just how evil and wicked the Democrats are. I'm sorry. They can't do things through the political process, like getting votes and getting referendums passed. They can never get what they want through honest means. And this is one of my big problems with them is, and I used to be a Democrat a long time ago, I admit, but I used to be one. And this is one of the things that just burns me up, because if their ideas were so great, they wouldn't have to basically cheat and use the bureaucracy with its 2 million workers now, or whatever it is now, to get what they want. They could just, have it passed by Congress, maybe, or maybe even the individual states would be doing it, but they can't get states to do it, even if they're controlled by the Democrats, and they can't get Congress to go along with it, even when it was controlled by the Democrats. So they have to use these uh, dirty, despicable means that are not subject to accountability by the will of the people through any kind of legislative thing. You have to. All right, I triggered myself. I'm going to stop talking about that as much. But they go on and talk about Operation Choke Point here. I'm gonna just kind of scroll through here. And that here is a good question. If push gets to shove, will Kinesis drop cryptos altogether? If banks massively refuse to handle money sent to crypto exchanges, I would drop cryptos, since Kinesis core assets are metals, not cryptos. There are hundreds of crypto exchanges one can use, but there's only one Kinesis, right? So he's making the point that because Kinesis is backed with actual physical gold, it stands alone. It doesn't necessarily need this tokenization or the crypto angle to it. And there's truth to that, and that's why the audit that I talked about not too long ago, only like a week or two ago, was critical, because it basically showed that they actually do have the physical gold in their vaults, which is obviously a lot better in many respects from just about any other crypto that's out there. I can't really think of anything like it. Even the ones that are pegged to the dollars. I mean, the dollar is pegged to nothing itself. So, um, Kinesis is unique in that. But I think what's going on here is that um, the U.S. government is basically at war with any competitor to the U.S. dollar and the U.S. currency, and um, I think that is probably the most troubling sign of all of them. I'm just gonna kind of keep scrolling through here. So you can pause and read this if you want. Um, and this person's talking about Operation Choke Point. Yeah. Um, I'm just gonna finish going through the thread. I'm not going to talk about it, but you can kind of scroll through here in slow motion and read what people are saying in this thread about it, and that brings it about to the end. So here, I've been warning that the government ultimately is going to want to ban all cryptos in favor of its own central bank digital currency, and so they're going to go after all of these things, I think, because they can't stand anyone being outside of the system. They just can't handle it. It's just like my complaint with the Democrat Party just a minute ago about how dirty they play. They can't get anything passed above board, so they have to go through the bureaucracies and executive orders just constantly. They rarely get anything passed legitimately, and all right, I'm starting to trigger myself again. But in kind of in the same way here, they know that when the central bank digital currency comes out, no one's gonna like it. Just like in Nigeria, where they're trying to do the same thing right now. I don't know if you're following that, but the Nigerians don't like it. And instead of saying, "Oh, well, the people don't like it, I guess we shouldn't do it," they're like doubling down. They're cracking down on it. They're like going after the black market people who are still using physical currencies there, and they're going to do the same here. So that they can't handle the competitors from like Bitcoin or cryptos, and they can't handle Kinesis, and they're going after all of them, and they're doing it through the banks. And I think that they're going to ban cryptos altogether or absorb them, maybe. I'm not going to get into this too much, but I think ultimately um, Americans are not going to stand for it. They're going to want to maybe switch to gold and silver because they don't really have any other choices. And I think the government's going to ban those too. Why? Because they're totalitarian. I almost swore. They're they're totalitarians, but they're fascists. That's the bottom line. They are fascists. And one of the hallmarks of fascism is that it cannot, and I shouldn't say fascism, all of them, all of the totalitarian regimes, whether it was communism, fascism, they're all really the same kind of thing. They cannot, one of their hallmarks is they cannot abide any outliers. Everyone has to participate, they will say. If everyone participates, the system will work. If anyone's outside the system, then it won't work. And so you're selfish. It's your fault if the system doesn't work. And we are justified as a system in coming after you and compelling you to participate because it won't work without it. It's the same with universal health care. That you can't have people who are outside of that system, right? Everyone's got to pay into it or it won't work. And that's almost one of the best ways of knowing that an idea won't work. It's a bad idea if it can't handle having people not participate in it. If everyone has to participate in the system, then you can be sure that the system will not work. Eventually, it will fall, it will collapse. But these people are too stupid and too evil and too power hungry and all incompetent. At any rate, you can't get your money, US dollars, easily into Kinesis right now. They say, to go back to their letter, oops, that was awkward. Where did my letter go? They're going to launch a more reliable depositing solution. Okay, well, I hope they do, because I really like Kinesis. And if you like it, if you like the idea, I have a referral link. I'll get that posted. It's in one of my previous videos for sure. Yeah, let's do this. But folks need to be thinking about what the end game here is. If they don't want to participate in this system, they better have a plan. They better be making a backup plan. I know that I am. And boy. Okay, so I wanted to bring that news to you about this because I wanted everyone to know that I'm not just being a shill for Kinesis. I do have real concerns about Kinesis, cryptos in general, and obviously don't trust this government, any government anymore. All right, just gonna trigger myself if I keep talking. So you guys have a good one.